When I was a kid, I was like 5 years old. I went to like a Britney Spears concert. And I was like, yeah, that checks out. I'm going to do that. And then Believe by Cher was my favorite song. I love Believe. It's a bop. And
I mean, that was the first record with autotune.
Yeah, I thought that checks out. I love Cher. I love Cher and I loved pop music. I think I'm just a troll. And I was like leaning into like, you know, like maybe people feel whatever they feel. Like, you know, I was like academic, all-star, and they're like, whatever. And then it seems like, oh, you just threw it away to pursue this, or you quit your job to pursue this. You had the stable life and then you threw it away to go do this stupid, silly, frivolous thing that's never going to happen for you. And I say this all the time to people, this is bigger than music. If you have people in your life that like have a passion of any sort, you have to support people that are doing something hard and scary. I said to myself, I don't want to be 30, 40, 50, 60 and no, I didn't try this. Like if I didn't try to at least make music, release music, then I would regret it forever. That's kind of the worst thing you can do to yourself. Because if you make the worst songs in the world and you put them out and you're so ashamed of them and you regret all the videos and everything that's ever happened in your career, at least you had the balls to do it. That's more than most people can fucking say.
My lo-fi vibe.
That's your vibe right there.
That's why I be chilling. You gotta have a song for every occasion.
Yeah.
Shout out to Natalie Carr.
Natalie Carr, that's dope. Yo, what's up? It's your boy Dallasaustin right here at Mind Over Music, yo. Sitting here in the best podcast on music that's in the universe. I got my man DJ Castronova right here on the side. You know what I'm saying? One of the best DJs you got out here in town. What's up, Castro?
What's up, my brother? How you feeling today? How you health and how you wealth?
Health and wealth is good, baby.
Okay,
you know, just make sure we stay, you know, on top of everything.
Gotta keep it going. Somebody gotta do it, B.
Yo, man. It's crazy. You seen any new artists out that you mess with? You know, we get new artists all the time on DAD. So if you're an artist that just trying to get your stuff distributed, get your music distributed, then make sure you go to daddistro.com. Check us out there. And we're always looking for music.
Yeah, I tell them to submit. Like I say, like submit your music because we got a lot of us that really handpick. Dallas actually listen to some of the songs.
Oh man, I love listening to music.
And,
like
you know,
I take my Sundays sometimes and just go backside of the site and just see who's there and see what music is there. Because you know, one of the things about it is if we find somebody that we think, you know, we can help out or has the legs on them, then we want to help them get to the next level.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
That's the whole point of it, you know.
And that's the point of new artistry is to have, like, you know, you want to have some help. You want to have somebody who can, you know, at least open some doors for you or make it that much easier because business is tough. It's like, it's tough business.
Tell them about it, D. Tell them about it.
Rough, so tough, baby.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean, you know, it's not always going to be a new, exciting artist that's going to come from somewhere at all times.
Yeah.
You know,
and then music is still the gem of what we're doing, and it's like, I know you love it. It's like exhilarating when you find something dope.
Music is the one universal language that, you know, everybody speaks. Like when they hear a record that they love, I don't care if it's at a concert, I don't care if it's in an event, or where it is. If you all love that record together, that's a unity move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then it feels good because it gives you a memory. So shout out to all the up-and-coming artists. Y'all don't give up the fight.
Shout out to all the up-and-coming artists,
Don't give up the fight, man.
They're going to be a big break. Artist fight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We got a special guest coming up today, though.
Okay.
But again, before we bring that guest out, make sure y'all subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe, notification. Y'all know I'll be on y'all head.
You know what I'm saying? Make sure we get the word spread out that we dropping this knowledge over here.
For sure.
So, yeah, today we got somebody very special.
Just wanna cry, finally confront every sinking feeling I swept under the rock, made a home down in the grave, postponed all the healing. I was too stubborn to need, not knowing what I.
We like to spotlight new music and new artists on Mind Over Music, and every time I find somebody that I think is, you know, an interesting artist or something that I like myself about the artist, then we want to be able to, you know, shed a little light on them. And when I heard Natalie Carr is her name, by the way, I was going to tell you that in a minute, but when I heard Natalie, when I heard her music, I was like, this is some really good songwriting was the first thing I heard. And the tone of her voice was special. And I was like, okay, this is awesome music. This is really good stuff.
Really nice.
So without further ado, Miss Natalie Carr, how are you?
I'm so good. That made me feel so good.
Did it?
Yeah, I loved it.
Was that a pretty good intro?
Yeah, it was really good.
All right, cool. That's
Yeah.
it. So wait, so let's talk about where you're from first.
Yeah.
You're from where? Charlotte?
Stamford, Connecticut originally.
Okay.
And I live in Charlotte, and I've lived there for like 5 years now.
Why Charlotte?
I went to school in Durham, North Carolina, and then I just ended up in Charlotte. It was a little bit by accident. I didn't know where to go. I didn't have the money saved up in my head. I was like, if I move to LA or Nashville, I better like have my money right. And I didn't at the time. So I was like, I'm going to go somewhere that I feel like things are happening, but it's still like not totally happened yet. And it'll be.
Well, did you go to college there?
Mm-hmm. I went to Duke. Yeah.
You went to Duke.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. So for what?
Public policy. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So it's kind of like political science and economics, like where they meet a little bit. I hope I didn't butcher that. It's been a few years. So
what made you go for public policy?
I wanted to be a lawyer. Yeah.
Entertainment lawyer?
Potentially, yeah. I did actually. I thought that'd be cool.
But so you went to school for that also?
Well, it wasn't. I guess it was like pre-law.
Okay.
But it wasn't like official. No. Just learning about.
So when did you start doing music during that time?
So there was a record label at Duke actually. I was trying to like get into the business side of it because I thought that could potentially be a career, like doing A&R, market, anything, like working for a label. Like I was open to whatever. And then
were you performing? Were you like an artist on campus?
Not
What were you doing on
all.
campus?
I was doing that, but I wasn't performing. I was so scared too. And my nickname in high school was Nashville Nat, and I'm from Connecticut, so it didn't like make sense. But I wanted to be a country star. And so I was like, I'm gonna go to school in the South, and like during school or like when I graduate, whatever, I'm gonna like pursue country music. And then that became, I just want to pursue music, but I had no means of starting it. Like I didn't produce, I never recorded myself, like gone to a recording studio. I had just been writing songs and singing. Like it wasn't honed in at all.
What was the first moment that you knew, that you wanted to be a singer? Was it ever a record or an artist or a song that you heard that made you just feel?
Yeah.
At that moment, I know this is what I want to do. What was that?
Absolutely. Record? I mean, when I was a kid, I was like 5 years old. I went to like a Britney Spears concert. And I was like, yeah, that checks out. I'm going to do that. And then Believe by Cher was my favorite song. I love Believe. It's a bop. And
that was the first record with autotune.
Yeah. Oh, that checks out. I love Cher. I love Cher and I loved pop music. And then it became, I loved all kinds of music. My parents loved a lot of like classic rock, a lot of like 60s, 70s. They kind of skipped the 80s. I found the 90s, like the 2000s, and that's when I was growing up. And so I always loved it, and I had an affinity for it. And I always knew that when I was listening to it that I wanted to make it because I wanted to make people feel what I was feeling. Okay,
so your music.
Yeah.
Do you, when you write, all of us write from a personal standpoint, but what is this about? Like a bunch of breakups? Is a bunch of boyfriends? Is a bunch of like, how did you lead into? Like,
maybe a few.
I don't know. Your song is on the sleeve, so like, yeah, I'm, trying to.
Yeah.
Where do you get your songwriting?
I definitely think, yeah. So far, it's been a lot about breakups. My friend was saying the other day, he was like, "Oh, what is an album? Just every song about like whoever, whatever." And I know that ultimately, I want to like come out of that because I have like real stories about real shit I want to tell that I've experienced. I think young girls, women need to hear.
Right.
But I haven't gone there yet.
Why?
I'm excited to go there. I'm gonna go there. We're gonna go there. I'm going there,
ready to go there.
period.
You know what I'm saying? I like to go there. I like to live there.
Yeah, we're gonna go there.
What's your timetable? Like what's the difference in things you want to say now or things you've written probably already or how you want people to take it at a certain point? Or is that you want them to see you at certain...
Good question, because I mean we've talked about it. Like I wanted to kind of like be known for writing, whether it be like a happy song, a catchy song, a song that a lot of like people can relate to. Everyone gets broken up with, everyone breaks up with people, everyone's been through like relationships and whatever. But I always said I didn't want to come out of the gate with something that was like really serious and then kind of be known for that and live there. I kind of wanted to have some core fans before I went into that, but I'm realizing now I'm like, it's just time to tell stories. It doesn't matter what they're about. And I think I just need to like do it all. Because people like hinge their life on like, oh, like I'm gonna do this one day, I'm gonna do this one day. I'm like, it's just time to do it.
Like this song Drive. Drive is one of my favorite records.
Oh,
you got a couple of favorite records obviously that I like, but what was the inspiration behind Drive?
So that was imaginary. And I was like in a relationship at the time. And I remember my ex being like, "Who is this about?" And I was like, "It's not. It was. Yeah, right. It was like the feelings of right, like of I guess like maybe many things that I've been through, experiencing.
Or
in
is your subconscious writing it and he knows it? And
well, you might be right.
You know, I'm always talking about subconscious writing.
Yeah, like it very much could have been. I think everything you write comes from a place, but I also don't think for songwriting it always has to be about you. Yeah. And I've had some difficult conversations with my family too, and they're like, "Did this happen to you?" Like in certain songs, or they're like concerned, and I'm like, "No, like it didn't." But it's bigger than me. Like I feel like the need to tell stories, and if I can draw from myself, even better. But
I mean, when I first saw your your video, wait, I think the first one was what wasted potential was the first one.
Oh,
right. So it
was really fun.
And when you see the angle that you're coming from, it's interesting because it is a darker angle in a certain sense. Like you can see how your parents would be like, "Yo, is everything all right?"
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
So
I think I'm just a troll, and I was like leaning into like, you know, like maybe people feel whatever they feel. Like, you know, I was like academic all-star, and they're like whatever, and then it seems like, oh, I think the narrative for a lot of creative people is like you threw it away to pursue this, or you quit your job to pursue this. You had this stable life and then you threw it away to go do this stupid, silly, frivolous thing that's never going to happen for you. And I think every creative that's starting out struggles with that. And I think this song was kind of like a troll of like, you know, I'm drunk, I don't have a 401k. And like, if it's true or it's not true is irrelevant. It's more just like embracing that narrative of like, I'm just like this helpless creative that like messed up her life by pursuing this. Because I don't know, I think that people struggle with that.
What do you want people to take from your music though? Like if a teenager or an adult for that matter, either way, young adult. But then what do you want them, you know, what effect do you want your music to have on them? Or what do you want them to take away from it when they hear it? Like what part are you going to play in their lives?
I want them to feel seen and heard, and I want them to feel like they don't have to be ashamed of anything that they're feeling. Because I remember, I mean, I've had mental health issues my whole life, like candidly. And like, I remember when I was like in middle school and high school, Demi Lovato, like I mentioned to you, like the Disney girls, like were huge for me because they were a little bit older than me and they were just like obvious icons that I could look up to. And I remember when Demi was so public about what she was experiencing at the time. And I remember being like, oh, so this is normal, this is cool, this is okay. Mm-hmm. And I think if you can give that to someone, that's the greatest gift of all. It's just making people not feel like they're crazy and they're alone. And
let's talk about that for a second, because I feel like a lot of over the last, I don't know, maybe 10 years or maybe 5, I don't know, but like I don't remember coming up in my time where like mental health, whether it was in artists or maybe we didn't know it, it didn't have a name, I don't know, I just don't remember it in anybody I really worked with coming up in our time. And other things were different. We didn't have social media, so you didn't have as many people to live up to on a daily basis. For one, or people you think that's trying to have your approval. It's a weird thing, but what was your first, like, how did you encounter mental health, or what was your first interest of thinking, I mean, like, you know?
I think it's interesting because, I mean, as a 2000s kid, like I remember the time where it like wasn't cool to talk about that stuff. And then I was coming up where like, you know, social media happened. It like started when I was just at that age, and then it became just more mainstream to talk about. And then society is like, now it's all we're going to talk about, which, you know, and it always evens out. That's just society in general. But I feel like it's always been there for people. It just wasn't cool to talk about. In a lot of ways, it still isn't. But
like I don't remember people from my generation.
Yeah, and they weren't like
I'm not to say people weren't fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's
capacity, but I don't remember them like I don't know. I just it's so interesting how, but I'm happy that music is a place people can express it.
Yeah,
and I feel like it's probably saved. I always say, where would most, you know, rappers or even artists be if it wasn't for rap music, in a sense, because most people that's telling their story are from the streets.
Yeah.
So they left them dead or in jail if you didn't have this outlet for it. So I'm glad it, you know, music became an outlet. And for mental health, period, I think it's been a big, it's one of the things that made everybody be okay with talking about it.
I agree. Like. I think rap music was really, really important in like making that shift. At least from my experience, like growing up and like listening to all these different genres, I always felt like it was the most honest and real in a sense.
Like I used to listen to a lot of Seattle music, like Nirvana and Tori Amos and Pearl
Yeah,
Jam. During the
Nirvana's a
whole
big
like
one, yeah.
during the whole Seattle era, and the whole era was about being a basket case.
Yeah.
And being accepted and having your own alternative. Do you feel like that's a do you feel like now in music you feel like it's enough artists or who do you feel like the artists are that kind of how do I say it?
They're like spearheading it right now?
Not spearheading it, but like that still make you feel like, okay, that's cool, and they do talk about it and they do.
Yeah, I feel like I think Juice WRLD was big, and I know that like Demi Lovato was, she's a superstar and always was. Selena Gomez has been really like influential to a lot of these young women, just talking about what she's been going through. Lady Gaga. I mean, the list just goes on. I think also it was always there for a lot of these bigger artists. They just didn't feel safe talking about it. Now they're like out with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's important. I think sharing your story at your own pace is important too. I mean, I also notice like internet culture now, like a lot of people are rushing to kind of share too much too young. Yeah. And I think that can be dangerous, but I think overall it's a good thing that people talk about this stuff, because shame is what makes you feel alone.
Yeah.
And so when you can talk about something openly and people accept you, you're gonna be okay.
What do you do for fun?
Okay, I like to I don't do that much. I'm fun in general, and I don't have enough hobbies. So if anyone has any suggestions, let me know. I don't have enough. But
you ski?
I do. I like to ski. I grew up skiing, and I like to play tennis. I started playing tennis again recently.
Like so you like I ski, I play tennis.
Yeah. I like to work out. I like to be active. But I don't like slow shit. Yeah. Oh yeah, no. No, not that. But like I don't like hiking and like the chill. I have a hard time sitting still. So anything that's like fun gets your like blood. I like surfing. Not good at it, but I'll do it. Yeah, and outside of that, I like need a hobby. So if you have any suggestions.
You sound like you have enough hobbies.
But like they're not like, you could go skiing every day.
You go surfing, skiing, write a song.
Yeah. Ideally.
So
if I could do those things every day, I'd be perfect. I'd be so good. But I like to read.
What you like to read? What? Like, what's your favorite type of book to read?
I like fiction. I do.
Ah.
I think it's really cool reading. I mean, that's the dumbest thing I've ever said, but like reading in general and just seeing the way that other people can express things is just wild to me. Just like, it's like you're reading into someone's mind, like their thoughts in like paragraphs. And I've always found it kind of like reassuring and comforting.
Were you like a mean girl in school?
Hell no. Maybe. I don't know.
Mean girls in high school, like you had that in your clique.
No,
like it seemed like Connecticut would have like a mean girl crew in your high school.
Oh, there probably were, yeah. I tried to stay out of it. I was just really focused on school and like staying out of like, I didn't want to be involved. I don't remember being mean to anyone, no.
It seemed like you was in your room a lot or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I was. I seriously was. I was social. I didn't become social until later, like, and came out of my shell like senior year. But like, I mean, I was in my room a lot. I loved spending time. I can keep myself busy now, like forever. I'm good. Like there's just so much to do creatively now. I feel like I'm never really that bored. There's no room for it.
Who was your biggest influence in music, like coming up? I know you like Britney Spears.
Yeah, a lot of the pop girls.
I know you like let's see, Miley Cyrus.
So I think probably if we're talking about like modern icons, Miley 1000%. Just the way she's always been able to like shift herself and access different parts of her identity through like, I feel like every album has been a different era.
Yeah.
Which isn't uncommon for artists. And like Rihanna has done that in her later albums, which is like amazing, and Lady Gaga. So everyone's kind of done it, but I think Miley is the most like boom, new era, new hair, new outfit, new everything. And like she, she's been accused of like, oh, she's like, who is she? Like, does she know herself? And I think she does. I think that we're multifaceted. And even when I make music with you and like with anyone, it's like I can, like any genre, I'm like, I like it. I feel it. It's true to me.
Who's your classic idol?
I loved, my dad took me to a Rolling Stones concert when I was 9. So kind of like bands in that vein, I really, really loved. I just saw it like the theatrics, like Mick Jagger, and that shit was really, really cool.
And then your shows. Let's talk about your shows.
Okay.
Do you like to perform?
I
Are you
love
like a still
performing.
performer? Do you sing? Do you dance? You jump around? Do you play guitar? What is your show like? If somebody, what would they expect to see when they came to your show?
I tell a lot of jokes. I don't know if they hit, but I talk a little bit too much at my shows. And
Jokes like what?
I don't know, man. I just get up there and I just feel the need to say whatever's on my mind. But no, I mean, when I first started performing, I was so terrified. I think a lot of people in the artist lane are like, oh, I can't wait to be on stage. And
It's terrifying.
The first show, the first 20 shows. I mean, still, I'm like, I'm going to die. I'm going to have panic attack every single time. But I'm straight. I've never done anything crazy on there where
But I've never worked with an artist,
Yeah.
no matter how ready they were to go to the stage, that didn't get,
a little bit like,
totally anxiety, totally
Oh.
nervous, totally, okay,
Wow.
like can't, everyone is that way.
Well,
no matter
that's
how
cool.
big, like even down to Stevie Nicks. I was working with Stevie
Wow.
Nicks and she's like, Dallas, you gotta realize, like her going out to a regular club, I would take her out, try to get her out the studio. Let's go out for a minute. And she would just be so like freaked out. And I was thinking to myself, but you used to perform in front of, people all your life. And she was like, yeah, but they're out there. And, we go from the stage back to the back, get on our bus, go back to, so it's like,
yeah.
you don't realize that phobia that they had. But everybody would get that. She used to be
That's
like,
super comforting. I feel like artists, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just Charlotte artists and this something in the water. People are just like, I live for it. Like, I can't wait to get up there.
so I got the baby in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Do you play a lot of the baby records in Charlotte?
They
on the radio
do.
all
They
day
do.
long?
If you're out, it's on. So
Is he the only one that broke through as far as like,
I might be
not
missing.
as far as a hip
no,
hop
I know
artist,
what you
but is it
mean.
any other, pop or any other, am I missing any other artists that broke through out of Charlotte?
I mean, of course it's like relative, but at that level, I don't think so. I'm sure I'm missing someone. I mean, there was a lot of successful bands and like individuals, but maybe like on a more independent, smaller scale, I think. But it's cool to see it come up now. I mean, a lot of my friends are in bands and they're artists, and it's cool being like in a place where not everybody does it, but it's pros and cons to that. 'Cause sometimes you're like, I'm alone, but then other times you're like, this is great.
Because any artist you could work with or write with or whatever,
would-
like past, present, or future, who would it be with?
Taylor Swift.
Oh, who don't want to write with Taylor
I
Swift?
know, yeah, that's why it's such a throwaway answer. I just think she's a genius. Carole King.
That's a good one.
That's, yeah.
You know what's genius about Taylor Swift though is that we was talking about this a minute ago. Is that a song. We always say this: a song is a story. You got to cram into 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And the reason that if a song doesn't make sense or it doesn't hit the song, if it doesn't come across, it's almost like you watching a movie where you was like, "Oh, that's the ending,"
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that same feeling you get is the feeling someone gets when a song doesn't go the right way. But because a song is supposed to be something that just happened to you, a recent record of what just happened to you.
Yeah.
So a lot of the Taylor songs, a lot of country songs are made off of what just happened to them. A lot of the great records are just, a recording of an event that just happened to you.
Mm.
That's what a record is. Like keeping record of anything else. And so that's why when you hear songs like, well, my baby just left me, or like,
Yeah.
that's what just happened to them, right? So Taylor's all of her records basically make you feel like, well, that just happened to her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's who she was with just now. Or that's who broke her heart
Yeah.
on this thing.
Yeah.
But you feel like it just happened,
Yeah.
right?
It's not, yeah.
Even the way
on the
in
recall.
song context is
Mhm.
everything. The way you're singing it, the way you're like, what is it? Third party, second party? Is it like?
Yeah.
But your records are like that too.
That's cool. Thanks.
Your records have that same like. That's why I keep asking you who they're about.
Yeah. Oh, well, we must not name names. No.
Names will be,
and oftentimes they
to
are
protect
really
the innocence.
specific. And I have some songs coming out, look, that I'm like, these are almost so personal and so real. And like, for the first time, I think people in my life can attribute certain lyrics and a whole project, a whole song to like, a specific individual. But I think it's irrelevant. I think that my duty is to write songs that I identify with and hopefully other people can identify with in a respectful way.
Out of Duke and you're young and your parents are like, you want to do music instead of being solid, like all of us went through that.
Yeah.
What would you do? What's your fallback? What's your mind over music? If I'm not doing this, you know what I'm gonna do? Is what?
I didn't really have a plan B because I always knew that I would figure it out and take care of my shit. I was never just gonna be like, let's see what happens, and passively. I think for, you know, really early 20s, it was a little bit like, oh, you like get discovered and shit takes off for you. And like, that's either like that old mentality. And now it's like at a place I'm growing up, I'm like, I don't have a plan B, but I know that I'll be straight because I'll just always figure it out. And I'll always do this and I'll always love this.
You'll always do this. You always see yourself no matter what.
Writing songs.
Writing
for
songs.
Sure. I have to. If I could turn it off. Sometimes I'm like, if I could just not do that, would like, obviously life would be easier, right? Because like, if you don't have a creative passion that calls to you every hour of every day, then it clears up a lot of time to do something that's stable or enjoyable. But I can't imagine not writing songs and putting words together and stuff. West Hill.
West Hill, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I love this.
Did you wear private clothes?
So
Did you wear private school clothes?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, we had 2 really big public high schools, and there were private schools. And
What's the thing you got the most trouble for in high school? Were you a bad kid? Or you just
I was a little bit bad.
It seems like you would be bad.
I was a little bit bad.
You're sneaking out
Yeah. Yep.
the window,
Yep.
flashing lights.
Oh yeah.
Phone call twice. No.
Dude, I wanted to be bad. I didn't have the balls to like really commit, but I was like fascinated by the girls that just were just like, I don't give a fuck.
You got
Like,
brothers and sisters? Or just
I had an older sister. She did everything right. She didn't do a thing wrong.
Ever?
No, never, not once. And I was never like that. I was darker. I was more mischievous. I just wanted fun. I wanted to break rules. I had a lot of behavioral problems when I was a kid. By the time I got to high school, it was fine. But I think I had ADHD like pretty bad. It was just under the radar or something. I don't know. I couldn't focus. I couldn't chill. No.
Wait, so in high school, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, but you knew you wanted to do music then. You kind of doing music,
Yeah, I
right?
did. Yeah, I grew up playing guitar and piano badly so that I could write songs.
Did your mom like make you do it?
No,
like, no.
I begged.
Ah.
I begged to.
What was the music like? Did it make you feel like in your high school?
In high school?
Or like just in that environment in Connecticut?
Hip hop, a lot of hip hop. I don't remember. I mean, of course. I mean, I don't know. It was like One Direction shit at the time. I'm trying to remember what was like cool, and pop punk too. So like my era was like the scene kid. Like I liked like Fall Out Boy and like Panic at the Disco. Like that was a big deal. That was like it's the zenith of like this little genre that is doing
That's
whatever
what made
it's
it
doing
big,
now.
though. It was like it made it to being like suburban pop rock.
It was kind of like that, and then a lot of hip hop, and I was exposed to everything, and I truly liked everything. And the country music thing was just me probably just being a kid and being like, I'm gonna be different. Like let me like go down this rabbit hole on LimeWire and download some Kenny Chesney, and of course Taylor Swift for a lot of younger people was like a gateway because it was like soft, it was like country, but like almost. And then, you know, I fell in love with that, but nobody up there was listening to that at the time, and it was at a time where, at least in the Northeast, like, and without, you know, social media and the internet, like country wasn't pop necessarily. Like people didn't listen to it. It just wasn't a thing. And so when I found that, I was like, that's going to be my identity for like 2 years for sure.
So do you want to move to Nashville? You ever thought about that?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to.
You going to?
Yeah.
You're going to just hardcore it?
I think I am. I think at minimum, I just want to spend a lot of time there.
Crazy part about Nashville is everybody's a songwriter.
Yeah.
It's like you'd rather be, it makes you want to be a songwriter more than anything. It's the one place your parents would probably be prouder of you.
Yeah.
If you made it being a songwriter than being anything else.
Yeah, I think so.
And that was grown out of, you know, it's grown out of really just being country music. Obviously it's known for country music, but Nashville now is like, I think it's moving in another cultural direction.
Yeah, and that's exciting because I think a lot of people have warned me. Like, you know, everyone's like, it's just country, just country, just country.
Do you think your music feel country?
Not really, but I think trap and country are similar. Like the drums are very similar, and so sometimes with a lot of these, like, there's so much genre bending now, which I like. I love.
Sometimes your phrasing sound like Jermaine Dupri's.
That's the coolest.
Jermaine writes in a rap way sometimes.
Anyone's ever said to me, holy shit.
He writes in a very like,
yeah.
It's almost like Bone Thugs. It's almost like you figured out a way to put that in your. I was listening to you right the other day, and I was like, she's kind of flowing like Jermaine when she write.
I love rap. I have a lot to say too. So It's the one genre where you can just get it out. I mean, there's room to do that.
Have you ever rapped before?
I
You was in a rap group when you came up?
every time I
The plot thickens.
I think I should though, like, because here's the thing I did. I put a video on Instagram and I was like, I'm gonna rap. And I got everyone all excited for a week. I was like trolling. I was like, I'm gonna rap. And everyone was like, cool, do it. And I did this, I called it Car Bars.
Car bars.
And I need to continue
I like
that. Yeah, it was dope.
Car
But
bars.
everyone was like, you're still singing. Like, you're not rapping, you're singing. You could sing as fast as you want. You're not rapping because you're not like speaking. And I don't know if I'd feel comfortable doing that. Like, I don't know if it would sound cool. So my speaking voice is so like, you know what I mean? So I just sing. I sing around it. And I think a lot of people do that.
Oh,
It's
so that's
not
why you
unique.
do the sing rap.
The sing rap. I sing rap.
Ah.
And I love it.
That's
I like rhyming.
I see.
There's so many things you can rhyme shit with. You just got to rhyme and rhyme. And I think that's probably one of the things in songwriting I've learned, especially like the last time I was here with Dan, was like the simplicity.
Yeah.
Pull things out, let things ride. Trust that your melodies and your lyrics are potent enough that you don't need to just keep
Rapping.
rapping over all of your beats, because like just let people hear them. And so I'm gonna work on that a little bit, but I like it.
You asked me for 89 bars.
Yeah, I texted J-Mac and I said, we have this song, and I was like, oh, I'm not done. I got to the end of it and I was like, I need another 3 minutes.
Logic crash trying to bounce
Because I was like, I want to see what happens. Like, I want to lean into it, but yeah, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely fucking crazy, but I want to do it. So we'll see.
Well, I feel like you're on the right track. Your music alone, by the way, you know, obviously it's great. And if you haven't heard it, go check out Natalie Carr on Spotify and
Yeah.
Apple Music and everywhere else in the world.
Do that shit.
But I feel like, you know, you're gonna be, you know, a staple of excitement to people. You know, especially to like the energy of records right now. Like you have a certain perception in the way you write songs and the way you, your perception of life.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. It's pretty cool.
Thank you.
You
That's
know.
very nice. You've said a lot of nice things to me.
That's
today.
the script over here. So, yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I wrote that. Fuck. My bad. I made him up.
You know you're not here right now for real.
I know.
Deshaun created the whole thing.
And he could, because I saw it.
No, Deshaun is he's taking my voice and put it in places it shouldn't have been.
Oh, you're one of those? Like the scammers now? That shit's crazy. These scamming. Like,
So how do you feel about that though? How do you feel about like where music is going? I don't know how much you've been paying attention to like,
A lot,
that stuff,
yeah.
but
enough.
they might not need us in a minute.
That's really terrifying to me. It kind of makes it, and I don't think it's just music. I mean, it's a lot of jobs. It's a lot of people having legitimate jobs that they're going to lose very soon in an economy where it's already impossible to keep your head above water for most people. So that's an issue. But when you're talking about art, that's scary on a different level.
Are you in the AI? Have you ever like,
I'm not.
you know?
I think I'm one of those people. I think there's like two kinds of people, like embrace it and like embrace like the new age, like new shit. And then there's people that are like, I resent it. It feels inhuman. It feels weird. I definitely leaned more towards that. And I'm trying to like be open. I want to be open-minded. And also I don't have a choice because it's happening. So if you're not down with it, get down with it, grandma, because it's going down. But I don't know if I'm ever going to fully be like, oh, this is exciting to me. But
Have you tried it yet though? Like in any capacity, like art or like
we're doing chat GBT.
Right,
Like, I mean, I know
yeah,
that's like AI light, but we're doing for like the music video. We were like, this one coming up, we're having like a newspaper. We're gonna like get one printed with like a fake heading and like a fake story, and we just chat GBT the whole thing. And
it came out great, right?
yeah, it was pretty funny. It said it was from like Toledo, but I'm not that famous yet, so I don't know how I would know otherwise, I guess.
All right. So okay, wait. Apple pie.
Apple pie. It's not like that. It's cooler than that.
Okay, what is this actually about?
Okay. For you really want okay, this is like
It's
PR.
a new single.
It's
right?
about yeah,
A new single. It just came out.
it's out.
What is this about? Because it's not like American Pie. You know that Apple Pie was an American Pie.
Yeah. It's not about that.
Okay, because you got a couple of words in that that's confusing in the lyrics.
Yeah, I feel you.
Okay.
There's a lot of innuendos in some of the shit I do just because I'm a troll. I'm a troll. So the song.
You're a troll, like a little troll, like an internet troll?
No, I don't actually troll like people on the internet.
So
but
when
just
you
in
say
real
troll,
life,
what do you mean then?
I don't know. I just kind of like I live for shock factor. Like I'll say things to people just to see what they'll do, but like in a harmless way, never in a mean or pointed way. But it's just my humor. So sometimes that comes out in the songs too. Embrace what you got, but like Apple Pie was about. I was trying to write it about a breakup, and then it became like, yeah. But then what had happened was I said. Everyone's got something to say. Grapevines boxing my weight, which I still don't think is the right expression, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like the grapevine of what people are saying is like boxing my weight. Like it's I can't beat, the gossip. And then it became, what if it was about like a boxing match? So I just went with that.
Wait, you just lost me.
I know. It lost me too. I went for a whole ride.
How do we go from apple pie to the boxing match?
Well, then we get to apple pie. So now we're at the hook and I'm writing it and I'm like, just like, like sometimes you're just saying random words for a melody. And I said sweeter than apple pie. I was like, but I'm a fucking lullaby. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? I was like, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna get the melody down. 20 minutes later, I come back and I'm like, wait, that actually could mean something. Like I said this yesterday. I was like, apple pie is a dessert. You eat it. It's enjoyable. It's over. A lullaby is stuck in your head. It's like you might be sweet and cute, but you're not memorable. I'm like someone that sticks with people.
And then what's the next line? Keep going.
Eating you like apple pie. I'll sing this fucking lullaby with my mouth full.
That part.
So.
See, that's where it gets confusing. Probably.
Yeah. I'm exposed.
That's where the sexual innuendos come in.
A little bit.
Okay. So.
A little bit. It's a silly song. It's a fun song. I kept it light. But I mean, it is the strip club. I would love if anyone knows any hot girls.
I mean, put you on the spot, but that's what the record said.
Please, you're not putting me on the spot at all. You just interpret it how you want to and tell your stripper friends and everybody that you know, because I'm super down with that. First of all, the song is hot. The song is sexy. Like it has a vibe to it. Like it gave me like Jessica Simpson, like Daisy Duke vibes, like washing a car, like with the cowboy hat, like that kind of shit.
Just putting the apple pie over you while you're washing the car.
Like I was like, that's
like the
hot.
Ice cream on you while you're washing the car. Daisy Duke song, and apple pies.
That's what I was like. The sound was there, and then it's about a breakup. It's about
you never thought about
empowering yourself.
You never thought about American Pie in any context when you was watching it.
I think now I do, because now I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think I did.
You know what the pie meant in American Pie, right? Deshaun, you ever seen American Pie? The white movie.
One
of many. Good luck figuring out, busting that one.
There's a lot of them. Which one? 1, 2, or 3?
The first one was the only one with the pie.
Was that the one with Jennifer Coolidge? Because do you know Jennifer Coolidge?
In all of
Not personally. She's
Can
hot.
you?
She's amazing.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, can you know her?
I guess he was using that to fornicate.
Did you want? Dude, he was banging the pie, right? He's had the pie right here in this thing. You said fornicate. He's such a nice guy.
He's so
He's such a sweetheart.
one of the nicest
great.
people
Like, he's such a nice person. So I guess he was using the pie to fornicate it.
Yeah.
No, he took the apple pie, warmed it up, and banged it under the table.
I think that's what people are gonna listen to me. They're gonna look at me and be like,
Well, that's the
what
first
she's
thing I
doing.
thought about. You asked me the other day. He was like, "What do you think the song is about?" And I was like, "You really want me to tell you?"
Yeah, and so he said
'Cause that's
nothing.
the
He just
first
kept
thing.
playing.
I was just like, "Let me just
piano.
keep playing this because I don't want to say like."
And he was like giggling,
something
and I
rude
was
to
like,
her. She just got here.
What? I was like, what? What
But you the one said the line, the pie in your mouth and the mouthful and all that shit. But
truly, I like what you're saying better. I'll give that to the press because that's way cooler than whatever the fuck it is that I put down. It makes sense to me, but now that I'm saying it out loud,
see,
it's open for interpretation. It is, yeah.
It's open for interpretation.
Yeah.
It's
a fun song. It's a silly song.
It's fun.
It's a fun song.
You know what? That's the only song that I heard so far.
Yeah.
That you're not crying or breaking up or like sad or want to sit in the room and like do the stuff on.
Damn.
I like that as a progression in another direction.
Okay. What if I'm sad over other shit? Will I get
You're
points
allowed
for
to be
that?
sad.
Just about anything else. It's not. All right.
Yeah, you
I
can
got
be
you.
sad.
I'm gonna write some happy songs. You get ready. You're gonna be happier than you've ever been in your life. I'm gonna make you so fucking happy.
Sad songs say so much.
I know. I know.
Come on, Elton John said it the best.
I'm way less sad in my song than some of these girls, but
Yeah, I've written some really sad songs. Just put them in another context.
Another context. Yeah.
The arrangement is good.
So the first time I knew who you were, and it kind of clicked for me when like, you know, like the last year when it was like Dallasaustin, I was hearing your name and we were gonna meet, and I was like, wait, I was like, first of all, Dallasaustin, but I was like, wait. There's an episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta that I watched when I was like 11 years old.
Oh my God.
And you are on it producing Kim Zolciak.
I wasn't producing her, by the way.
No, you weren't. You were like,
I was listening to.
I know what it was now. Yeah.
After all the shit I did in my life.
Yeah, I know.
That's my credit.
Well, I was 11. You gotta understand, man. I was 11, and I was like watching Real Housewives of Atlanta in the living room.
Damn,
and Kim is like, I'm gonna be a singer, and I was like, holy shit, girl, me too. And then she gets to the studio and she does what she.
You know how many people came to me and was like, "Yo." You know, you don't understand how many hits and everything else I got from people being like, "Yo, really? If you can go to the studio with her, you can go to the studio with me. 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 You can go to the studio with her. Me. It was like,
oh, they were like, I'm better than her,
dude. It was TV.
Yeah.
All right. And by the way, I didn't do Tardy for the Party. That was Candy.
It's my favorite song.
All right.
So
that was Candy. All right. And then the shit blew up.
I remember.
First we thought it was a joke. First it was like, what is going on? And then next thing you know, the shit's on the radio.
It was on the radio?
Oh yeah, it was like "Don't Get Tardy for the Party." It was everywhere.
Really?
And then people thought I did it. Thanks, Candy. I appreciate that. Then people thought I did it because they saw me in the studio with her on that episode. So
I remember that. Yeah.
It just went together as I did. No,
but that was Tightrope.
Damn.
Like I know, I've seen that episode. Lives in my brain. Like it was a core memory for me because I said I was like, if I'm ever in a studio, and I will be because I'm 11. I'm like,
all right, so
and I disappoint whoever it is.
What's crazy is I wrote.
I'm gonna miss my shot at Hollywood, mother.
Oh no, that's crazy. So no, I wrote that Tightrope. The Tightrope song originally was written for Anastasia.
Right.
Right. I wrote that for her when I was working on the project with Left Outside Alone, and all these great. We sold a ton of records. She's an amazing artist, and that was one of the songs that just didn't make the record. And
who's
I don't
next
know.
in line?
No, bro, it wasn't even who's next in line. You can't put them two in the same category.
No,
I
know, but like
this
this
story. But we needed something for the show. We needed something for TV. It was like TV going, and I'm like, well, I got this song.
Yeah.
I did not know that was gonna go like that.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't realize that. And reality TV was new then, so you didn't really know what was happening. You're just like, okay, but. You can probably see my face on the show when she started to sing the song, and I was just like, "What is happening here? What am I doing?" But it was for TV. That. It was good. It made TV. Tardy for the Party. Tardy for the Party became the hit.
Yeah.
I did not do that one.
On record.
But the fact that you remember Tightrope is crazy.
It is, and I liked the song.
I love that song.
And I liked
that song was such a. To me, that's still one. It's one of my favorite songs that never came out. But the fact that it got a glimpse of light through that was like...
Yeah, a little bit crazy.
A little bit weird.
Yeah. Well, that's just wild because I like the song and I was
still got that song in my vault. It's a whole record. Anybody needed that.
We should find a home for that. We should find a home for that song.
Should have. So question for you though, like, so what would you say as an artist that that's going through what artists go through to follow their dream, right? Forget what my parents say. I'm not gonna do what school said.
Get broke.
I'm gonna get broke. I'm gonna pursue my dream. Yeah. Now that's everybody's story. Everybody's story that hasn't made it yet that really, feel like I can do this. What would you say to them at this point? Because you're still on your way. You're on your way doing it, but you're probably further along than someone
than where I was.
Than where you were, yeah.
Because I would say, and I have to tell myself this every day because it's true, is like, and I say this all the time to people, this is bigger than music. If you have people in your life that like have a passion of any sort, anything, and it could be like knitting and selling their knitwear on Etsy. It could be that they want to run a marathon, or it could be anything. you have to support people that are doing something hard and scary, because I think I said to myself, I don't want to be 30, 40, 50, 60 and no, I didn't try this. Like if I didn't try to at least make music, release music, start a business in my own name, which is essentially what being an artist is, then I would regret it forever. And that's kind of the worst thing you can do to yourself. Because if you make the worst songs in the world and you put them out and you're so ashamed of them and you regret all the videos and everything that's ever happened in your career, at least you had the balls to do it. That's more than most people can fucking say. I'll never die not knowing, or knowing that I did the thing that was hard and scary. And that to me is cooler than anything anyone could say to disrespect what I've done or would do.
Okay, Frank Sinatra.
Ooh, get him, girl. That shit right there.
Live your truth. And I have to tell myself this. It's easier to say this to other people, but everyone should know that, because it's easier to say it to your friends, but I have to tell myself, and I have to tell, he is, I
gotta tell them. You gotta tell these people right here.
You gotta believe in yourself in a way that it doesn't matter what happens, because now I'm at a point where I'm like, I just want to make art and I want people to like it because I like it. And I'm gonna like I'm gonna feed it to them, and I'm gonna get behind this and believe in myself, but I'll never have to look back knowing that I didn't give it 100.
That's right. And I always say this to artists all the time.
And I'm on this couch. Like, that's that's fucking crazy.
What are you doing here?
I know. I've thought about it like 10 times today.
11. Jesus.
It's crazy.
11 years old while he's watching me on the Housewives. You never thought you'd be sitting here.
No, like for real. Like, well, that's actually so crazy, because you're right. And like you lose sight too of the little things. Like, I mean, I people are always like, a 15-year-old me could see me now, she'd be so proud. And it's so easy to be like, no, she wouldn't. Like, I didn't do no, she probably, I think that I'm like, no, she'd be like, bitch, you aren't a doctor. You did what? But 11-year-old me sitting on that couch would be like, you're on Dallasaustin's couch talking about Kim Zolciak. So you are fucking iconic.
The fact that you brought it up, you probably want that you could even say that on my couch to me. And when he was 11, that's how you even heard of me out of everything I've ever done.
I was like,
in my
that
life.
dude is cool.
I was like, damn, it's harsh.
Yeah, I know. But I was 11.
But you know what? I feel like, you know, your road to success and your inspiration. Like, I always tell artists this: if you're expecting, 3,000 people to show up tomorrow, or 10,000 people to show up tomorrow, they probably won't.
Yeah.
But they can't stop you on your road from getting that 5, that 10, that 20, that 100, and it's crazy, because if somebody told you right now that 100 more people followed you, you'll be like, yeah, all right, cool. You probably wouldn't even notice it in your numbers, right? Mm-hmm. But if somebody told you right now it's 100 people that want to see you perform,
that's a
100
lot.
people in the room is a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
Right? So 200 people in the room is a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny how, and I say this to artists these days, like if you're an artist, and I love what you said about that, and I love what you said to the people and to the young artists about, like, everybody wants to make it.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be as big as they can be.
Yeah.
But you can fuck up by trying to like go there and not take care of the 1 through 5 to 10. So you got to do the work. Everybody has done the work. Beyonce has, I know she's 13 years old. So like,
wow,
the amount of shows that she's done and the amount of work that she's put into being that, to be that way, or even like a Bruno Mars, or even like anybody. Everybody that you see that's been successful, there's been so many more hard days and nights than you can ever imagine. It's crazy. It's like, it becomes the norm. The rejection becomes a norm.
Yeah.
Like everybody's not gonna like you. You're not gonna look at your page and everybody's gonna say something great. What you're saying, it's just crazy. I don't know. Shout out to J-Mac and Mike. But I've been, working with J-Mac for years. Yeah, fourth quarter time. And they're two of the most wonderful people I've ever met in my life. And J-Mac has taught me more about not just humbling yourself. Because I was never like an egotistical, like I'm the best. Like, you know what I mean? Most people aren't like that. But the second that you're an artist putting something out into the world, that shit is terrifying. And you want to feel like you're being accepted. And he's taught me so much about just like, take the baby steps, go sing in front of 5 people. Why would you ever be above that? And now or 5 years from now, I guarantee if there's an opportunity to like wow 5 people, I'm going to take it, because that's the mentality of somebody that just genuinely enjoys what they're doing. You stop doing it for other people in numbers. You're just going to do it for yourself. You're straight. that point right there is the best shit you said.
But that's because of him.
Anybody
and Mike,
said
for
in a
real.
long time. Right there is everything.
I'm way happier than I was. I'm well, on a personal level, not so much. But in terms of my career, I'm like balls. I'm like, let's just do like I'm done. I'm gonna give what I give. I'm gonna be who I am. If you want Mariah Carey vocals, you might not get them here. If you want the baddest bitch alive, you might not get it. But you will get somebody that you're gonna fuck with if you fuck with me. And if you don't, that's cool. It's fine. Like, but I'm gonna put myself out there. Put yourself out there.
Yeah,
folks.
I used to ride around and listen to my songs in the car. That was the most important thing to me, is that I felt like the time I had to listen to these records in the car before they came out was like, they belonged to me then. And that was it. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to ride around 285,
It's the best feeling.
listen to my music.
Yeah.
Then they just loud, just banging. And then when it started to come out, I became detached to it, because I was like, okay, now it's out to the world. It's not mine anymore. It belongs to everybody else. And I have to be subject to whatever they like or don't like. If they don't like it, I have to be cool with that. If they like it, I have to be cool with that. I've been like, I started over so many times in my life, in my career, because none of my records ever sounded the same like that. So to be like, give me another one of these. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. So like, here I go, starting over again to make another song that don't sound like the one I made. And each time you do that, it's like, you get the same anxiety feeling, because it's cool when it's with you. But when you want other people to like it, you know, that's when it becomes vulnerable and becomes like, I mean, like, it's been records, like I said, it's been records I made before that I wanted somebody to like. And if I played it for you, you didn't like it, then I almost didn't like it no more. Okay, well,
I feel like that every goddamn day.
day.
But I also think, like, again, I mean, God, the amount of people that would just get joy. Like, the content is irrelevant. Like, sometimes I'm like, I see these artists and they just put out an album a week and they're so happy.
Yeah.
No one's listening. They don't care. And I'm just like, that they're winning more than everyone else, because
I see that, you know, from a distribution company standpoint. Obviously, we have Dad Distro. If you haven't signed up, sign up now. This is a plug.
It's literally the best thing that ever happened to me.
www.daddistro.com, the best fucking distribution company on the planet. So, by the way,
Facts.
no. So when I look at the
Fucking
backside of the distribution company, you know, I'm not just about volume. I like to look at what's happening. So, like, when I look at the backsides of it, sometimes, like the ones I call it bullets in the gun.
Yeah.
Right. You can tell the ones that's got their bullets because they're lined up and they're like, this record's coming out on this date, coming out on this date, coming out on that date, coming out on that date, coming out on that date. I'm like, okay. So their thing is all done. You look up, it'd be millions of streams on this artist. And you go back and say, wait, who's this artist that got millions of streams? You're like, oh, I see what this is. This dude put out 24 records here, 24 records here, 24 records here. You can't help but to get that many streams when you got that many records that you're putting out. And so that's not a thought process of a person who's waiting for the number one.
Yeah.
That's not a thought process of a person who, that's a thought process of, I'm doing my shit. And it sounds great. And people be surprised at how much like instrumental music, jazz music, instrumentals, like are the number one most streamed product, because they kind of just float and find themselves unassumably everywhere.
Yep.
Where all the other records are trying to be on the pop, or trying to be on Caviar, trying to be on this. These instrumentals just like piano songs, boom, 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 all day long, playing everywhere around the world.
Study break.
So when I look back and I see how many, you know, those people aren't looking for, or those artists aren't looking for if my record's gonna go number one, but they're streaming more than everybody.
That's really interesting. I never thought about that.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no really identity to it. The ones that make it as artists are probably not the one. It's a thin line. Like, they want to go number one. You want to be big at some point, but that's not why you get up and do it every day.
Yeah, because you would have been over it by the time you got anywhere.
You'll be over. If you think that you're gonna pop up tomorrow and have a number one hit, it probably won't happen. And if it does, it'll probably be the death of your whole career. Because it's so hard to live up to that number one hit that comes out of nowhere. Yeah. Instead of, you know, building a fan base of people over time. Yeah. You have so many arenas now where somebody goes to perform, you have no idea who they are. They sell it out. Not an arena, but like small venues, theaters, and
like medium venues of 2,000 people.
2,000
you wouldn't
people,
hear about them. Yeah.
But yeah, you get there every day by not really caring about, you know, you want the end goal, but the day to day is important. Yeah. So I like that. I like that you said that.
I'm getting older. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not 19 anymore being like, I'm going to be Hannah Montana. Like, it's literally, this is real life shit. This is paying bills and having to pay bills and having to figure out what I'm doing and where I'm going to be. And in life and this isn't like the little leagues, like this is serious, and the only reason I'm still doing it is because I know that I just feel like I have to, and until my stories are told and I write them and I record them, it's not over. It can't be over.
And there you have it, baby. That's what I'm saying. Mind over music. You never know what you get right here. You know what I'm saying? New artist week is the best week because, you know, y'all, you know what you're gonna get from the big artists, but this is for everybody who needs to feel like, yo, it's artists like me that's making it, that's trying to make it, that's doing their thing. And I feel like more inspiration comes from you to an artist than even the ones that's like super huge. So we applaud you for that.
I hope so. I agree with you. I think that.
Yo, man, we out here, you know what I'm saying? We out here in these streets. Mind over music. Keep your money on your mind and your mind on your music, baby.
I didn't even have to freestyle, not once. Woo!
I was gonna ask you to rap.
No, don't. I might.
Keep your mind on your music and your money on your mind. Keep your mind on your music and your money on your mind. Keep your mind on your music and your money on your mind. Yeah. We out, y'all. Catch you on the next one. That's gonna be the best one after the next one. You never know, like, you know, her going to school like that, then doing music. You just never know the other kind of personalities that a person has that deliver the records.
And the grind that makes those songs, you know what I'm saying? And the experience that, like, everybody got a story, everybody got a grind. You know what I'm saying? No matter who you are, you got to put your work in.
You got to put your work in. You got to make sure your mind is on your music and your money is on your mind, y'all. That's our episode for the day.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget it. Turn on your notification bells. The show gonna only get bigger and better.
That's right. Run and tell everybody. Go yell it on the mountains, baby. Mind over music. Every week you get a new episode.
DAD.com.
Check out DAD.com. And you get exclusive ones only on DAD from me. That you get some exclusive one-on-one tips. So be on the lookout for that to pop up on your screen too. Have a good time, y'all. Peace out. Peace.